Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Gabe.
It's Caleb.
And today you were tuning into another episode of the Positive Outlook Podcast. And what are we talking about today, Caleb?
Today we're talking about procrastination and how to kill it.
Yuck. All right. But you know how every great episode starts?
Question of the day. It's my
Yes.
turn this week. So, Gabe,
Mm
if you had a six-sided dice
hmm.
and it had a year, a month, a week, a day, a minute, and a second, and the scenario is you roll it and you get 6,000 per one of those increments, would you do it?
Okay. So it is like six a year and then one would be a second. How are we doing this?
Yeah, we'll we'll,
Okay.
we'll call it.
All right. So, um, although I strive for greater, $6,000 a month is probably a safe number to live at. And anything under that, I'd be happy with. $6,000 a second, a minute, an hour, whatever. I'd be happy with that. $6,000 a year, not that great. It's $500 a month. I don't know that I'd be happy with that. But I would roll the dice. Die. Sorry. I would roll the die. What would you do?
I would not. I don't think if anyone has bad luck, it's me. If it can happen, it will happen. It will
Yeah.
happen to me. So there's no way I would settle with 6,000 a year.
All right. All right. Here, I'm gonna do a little test real quick. Wait, which one did you say was a year?
A year will be six.
Okay. Hey Siri, roll a six-sided die.
A traditional die has six faces.
Okay, she's just
How would
explaining
you
to me
choose
what a
this?
dice is. All right, cool. Never mind. We'll just say I got the year. Darn it. Darn it. No, I shouldn't have rolled it. All right. Also, if you guys are listening on YouTube, make sure to comment. Let us know if you would do it. Okay. Yeah. But
Yeah.
all right, all right. So let's get into today's episode. So we're talking about procrastination. Where do you want to start with this?
Well, to start, anyone can look up the definition, but what would you call procrastination?
Yeah, man. I feel like procrastination is just understanding that there is a task at hand. There's something that you need to do, yet you just can't muster up the courage to do it right now. Like you understand that there is more time. So you're just going to allow there to be more time. That's
Absolutely.
that's how I see it.
Would you say you ever have struggled with procrastination?
Dude, so much. And not
Yeah.
even in the past, still currently. And
Hmm.
the problem is, so get this, right? You're in high school. Teacher says, okay, you have homework. It's going to be due Friday. It's a two-page paper. Okay, just get it done. It's due on Friday. Submit it then. Okay, so you're in high school. You're hanging out with your friends. You're playing video games. You're having fun. Whatever. You're going to hang out at a friend's house. You're like, I'm just going to do what I want to do until Thursday night or Friday, right? Friday morning before school. I'll write it. So that's what you can do. You have a deadline. So that's just what you do. Now get this. You're an adult. Okay, you're an adult, and financial, health, travel, whatever it is, say or yeah, so say okay, well I know I'm overweight, right? I'm 250 pounds. I need to be down to 220. Well, what's the deadline, right? Is your teacher there like, hey, make sure you get down to 220 pounds by Friday? No, there's no one there to push you. It's just you. So what do? You say, well, I'm still young. I'm still young. I got time. I'm not at risk for any conditions. You know, I'm not obese. I'm not to where I need to be taking action yet. So I'm just going to push it off. And I'm going to push it off. I'm going to push it off. I'm going to push it off. And then eventually you have a problem. You don't
Yep.
have a want or a goal, you have a problem. And then that's where things get out of hand. So
100%.
so yeah, I'd say I struggle with procrastination. I still do to this day. So knock on wood. Thankfully, nothing too crazy. I mean, I definitely have some things where I was like, dude, I should start on that like 5 years ago, and I didn't. And I'm still like, should I though? Should I still start on it today? So where a lot of the times I just want to like punch myself in the head and be like, you idiot, like get going now, and I still just don't. So
Yep.
we're not perfect. Pretty much everybody out there deals with procrastination. What about you?
Yeah, I would say I'm in a spot right now where I'm really trying to push through. I feel like I'm kind of stuck in a pattern of procrastination. And I think that it comes from a bunch of different sources. I think part of it is straight up stress. And ironically, it's one of those situations where you don't do something because it causes you stress, but then you get more stressed because you're not doing that thing. And so it's this kind of like toxic cycle to be stuck in,
Hmm.
and I have a few pretty big areas of my life that I'm kind of stuck in that right now, and I'm trying to work through, which is why I really wanted to talk about it today, just to kind of, be able to give myself a kick and a push and have that accountability factor and just kind of try to get it out of the out of my head and into reality, so it's a problem that I can face front forward.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing that I want to bring attention to is something called present bias. So everybody's pretty much everybody who's well, especially if you've listened to our podcast, but pretty much everybody is familiar with instant gratification, where you're going to take the quicker route, the more gratifying route, to where you can feel better about it today, tomorrow, end of the week, whatever, opposed to being able to look long term. However, there's another
Mhm.
thing called present bias, which present bias doesn't mean that you're doing something for instant gratification. It just means that you're choosing comfort in the present opposed to the long term gain, right? So there's a lot of things that we need to do in our lives that we haven't taken initiative or action on because it's not going to feel good and it's not going to feel good for a really long time. So what do? We take that present bias takes over and we just stay comfortable today. And that's something we got to work on. And honestly, being aware of it is half the issue. Once you're aware that this is happening and that you are involved in using present bias, whether you know it or not, once you're aware of that, that's half the battle.
100%. And it's so easy to kind of fall into that trap. And we talk about habits all the time. And so, really, it's about just finding ways to break that cycle. What is it that keeps getting you into that state of mind? Is it like the group that you're surrounded with? Is it having no direct and specific action plan and steps out of where you're at?
Hmm.
Um, and it's really the self awareness is huge, and really look to try to dig deep on what it could be. But I also feel like sometimes I get stuck focusing so much on the reason why I'm procrastinating something
Hmm.
that it's almost a form of procrastination in itself. I
Right.
don't know if you've ever felt that before.
Yeah, you're like trying to it's almost like okay, so you have a task to do and
Hmm.
you're like I haven't been doing it. And then you start to do like that, right? Where you're like questioning, trying to find the source. Like something that doesn't even get you to the next step, but you're telling yourself, like, yeah, this is what I need to do. I'm taking a step in the right direction. It's like when you're waking up early to go to the gym, but you don't like you wake up early, you don't go to the gym, but you're like, "You know what? I'm just going to cook myself a better breakfast today." And although it's good that you're cooking yourself a better breakfast, you still didn't go to the gym. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so like
Yep.
you're diluting the problem and redirecting the solution. And so you think that you're actually taking a step in the right direction when really you're just fulfilling like your avoidance prophecy and giving yourself gratification by doing something else.
100%. And so you really need to create your action steps and make them non-negotiables. Make them no matter what. Make it so no matter how you're feeling, you do X, Y, or Z, whatever it is. And
Mhm.
I will say another part of that process that I kind of catch myself in is I because I know it's a non-negotiable, I sometimes have a really hard time pushing myself out of that comfort zone where
Mhm.
I'll make the non-negotiable something I know that's relatively easy, even though it's that like you were saying kind of where it's like something that's better than what I was doing, but I'm still selling myself short on that next step, on that extra effort, that extra oomph. And really it's one of those things where you just got to do it. You just
Mhm.
have to make yourself do it. And if it was as easy said as done, we wouldn't have an episode today.
Mhm. Right. Yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of people who probably are listening have struggled with anxiety. I don't know if you personally have ever dealt with like an anxious situation, right? Like say you have an exam or a wrestling meet, whatever it is. You're so worked up about it. And the whole thing like you're just telling yourself yada yada yada. It's I'm going to fail, it's going to be embarrassing, whatever it is. In high school a lot, I was really bad at presenting. I could not get up in front of people and talk. Total 180 to where I'm at now. But when I was in high school, man, my face would get all red. I'd get all sweaty. It was weird. It was kind of just scary to see me up there. But the thing is, it was because of what I was like thinking prior to going up there, right? It wasn't actually doing it. But what I've learned from that is that action kills anxiety. So if you are afraid of doing something, that is when you need to do it. Like Tony Robbins always says, if I'm saying I can't, then I must, because that is when you do it. And I know Caleb's familiar with it. I love the story of the elephant and the rope, right? So there's the
Hmm.
elephant that's got the thread tied to its foot ever since it was a kid, and it's a thin rope. The elephant could just break it off, right? But it doesn't know that because it's always held it back. So what I like to think when I'm in an anxious situation and I'm like, I think I should turn around. I don't think I should take another step. What do? I picture that elephant with the rope and I say, well, what if that elephant was at the max range of its rope and it took one more step? That rope would snap and the elephant would be set free. I'm like, what about me? Like, where is my next step? What's going to set me free? Why not explore it? Okay, I'm at my comfort zone, right? I'm running into my comfort zone. Let me take one more step. Am I free? Maybe one day we will be, right? But obviously, you take that next step out and then your comfort zone just follows, right? And you got to keep breaking through it. But ultimately, action kills anxiety. So when it comes to procrastination, if that's one of your biggest reasons is fear or you're just overwhelmed, take action because it's going to crush that anyway.
100%. And another thing too is I think that what helps me a lot is I whenever I procrastinate, it's generally kind of like a series of mind games that I'll play with myself.
Mhm.
And I've started trying to kind of reverse engineer that, where it's like that something that's productive rather than saying, "Oh, what does it hurt if I do it tomorrow?" It's
Mhm.
more of, "Oh, well, what if I just do it today and then if it doesn't go well, then I have tomorrow." Like
Yeah.
just kind of flipping the script on whatever it is that I'm avoiding doing, and then just kind of it allows yourself to kind of almost reverse procrastinate if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really important to remember that procrastination is a habit and so is taking action. So pick which one you want to
Mhm.
build. Like procrastination is a safe habit. It makes you feel good. Like push everything off. I don't really need to do this right now. I'll take care of it later. Taking action might feel a lot better. You just got to try it, you know? So it's like just in your house, right? Have you ever heard of the 2-minute rule? So if
Mm-mm.
something's going to take less than 2 minutes, just do it. Just do it right now. So whether that's like you're looking at your full hamper of clothes and you're like, I don't want to do laundry. Well, think about it. How long is it going to take to load your washer? You know, take the hamper over there, you put the stuff in, you start it. Does that take 2 minutes? Maybe, maybe a little less. Whatever. It's not going to bother you to do, right? You can do it while your dog's peeing outside. It's just like it's easy stuff like that where it's taking what you're making into something that's so big. You're like, oh, I got to do laundry today. I got to make breakfast. I got to go to yada yada, right? I got to run to Walmart. All these things. It's like, well, it's like, I mean, how big is that impact actually going to be on your life? You take action on it, and you're just gonna feel better. It's like eating the frog, right? Yeah.
Yep, 1000%. And really just like you were saying with the 2 minutes, like just try not to give yourself too much time to think about it. Because the moment we allow ourselves to think about it, that's
Mm-hmm.
when procrastination is almost guaranteed.
Yep.
Because I catch myself doing that, especially in the mornings when it's time to get up. I used to never have a problem with it. I used to be someone who just popped up sometimes before my alarm, full of energy. And then I kind of fell off of that. And it's one of the biggest habits I wish I never fell out of touch with just because it's such a beneficial habit to have.
Mm-hmm.
What I'll catch myself doing is the moment I debate pressing snooze versus shutting off my alarm. The moment that debate enters to the
Yep.
point of thought and I'm thinking about it, I almost always fail.
Mm-hmm.
And so rather than having that thought, just do it. Just jump into it. Action will take care of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. It just remember, guys, you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to become great. I think that's it, right? That hits the nail right on the head, guys. Just don't worry about perfectionism. Don't worry about everything like that. Take action, get started. If you feel scared, remember that the more action you take, the less fear you will feel because ultimately, no matter what challenge you guys are facing, as long as you never give up, you will overcome it. Easy as that.
Amen.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, do you have anything else you want to add to today's episode?
Guys, I know more than anybody how tough procrastination is. It's really difficult, but that's because sometimes the most difficult part about it is yourself. You are the
Hmm.
biggest roadblock. So flip that and understand you are the biggest stepping stone to your success. Really just shift your mindset on it. Try to reframe it as best as you can and understand that it's okay. You're going to have failures with it, just don't use that as an excuse to revert.
Yeah.
Keep moving forward. That's really the biggest thing I have to say. On top of that, you know the drill. If you've made it this far, you've got to like and subscribe.
Absolutely. Yeah, we appreciate all the love and support we've been getting this last month, just over this last, I mean, heck, over the last 4 years, but especially
Yeah.
this last month or so, we've been getting a lot of new subscribers, a lot of new viewers. So we appreciate you guys. We used to have a lot of people that would comment, a lot of regulars, and we would build a build a relationship with them. So if you guys want to be our new regulars, drop some in the comment. We'll say hi. We'll say what's up. And we used to give shout outs. We used to give shout outs on the
Yeah.
podcast. We used to say your
Yeah.
name and I don't know, a little instant gratification, right? Present bias. So
Mhm.
so yeah, take advantage of it, guys. So go do all the hard stuff that you're afraid of, but make sure you comment so you get some instant gratification from us. All right.
Absolutely. And like we've said 1,000 times, like we love you guys. You're the reason we keep coming back, and it feels good to be back on a regular schedule again.
Yeah. And if I can tell you anything from what Caleb and I, why we're here today, it is you can, with procrastination, with whatever you're waiting to do, do not wait for the right time because the right time will never come. Caleb and I just said, well, Caleb was like, hey, dude, I want to do this. And I was like, mics are on their way. Let's do it. And we're like, how do we do it? And we're like, I don't know. Let's figure it out. Go back to episode 1. We just look like some weirdos sitting at my island in an apartment with mics just sitting on granite. And we had no, like, a terrible video quality. Our mics sounded
Mhm.
okay, but we still didn't know what we were doing.
Yep.
But we did it anyway. And then we just started from there. And look where we're at now, man. We've been doing this for almost half a decade. Isn't that crazy to
Yeah.
say out loud?
That is crazy.
Holy cow. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, and we've gone through everything. We've gone through the procrastination of recording and being able to find time and uploading and staying consistent, but man, we're still here. We do it.
And the thing is, if you never stop, you'll never fail.
Absolutely. Love it. Boom. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, share with a friend. Tell them that Gabe said hi.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Peace.